Alright, this is how we handle the weekly bill through process. So first thing I'm going to do is find the spreadsheet that we're going to update, and it's on SharePoint. You may have a hotkey to get there, but I'm just going to type in go.hbr.com, go to Departments, and under Apple Core Enterprises, DART, then under Financials, there's a thing called DART Bill Through Invoices, and we're going to update this. So let me just open it, and I'll get it on the screen so we can see what's going on here. I'll make it the right size. Just bear with me. And this is what we did last week. So the process date was 12/1, and for reference, today is 12/8, so exactly 7 days later. We're going to put new data into this part of the spreadsheet and then do the weekly summary so the guys in finance and accounting can see what's going on. I'll need to edit this workbook. Alright, so for now I'll just minimize this spreadsheet, and we'll go and look at the work that we need to do. So it's going to be under lists, invoices, sales, credit, estimate. We're going to look for customers who have an outstanding balance and are bill through. Now, how do you know if they're bill through? Well, they have this asterisk on them. So quickly I can put the asterisk in the search, and it minimizes it down to 23 records. So these are the remaining records that we're going to create the PDF for and such. As I look through here, maybe I'll sort by customer job. Actually, let me just look at one last thing. Invoice is not paid. This means that the balance on the invoice is greater than 0 or less than 0. It's not non-zero. So you have some credits out here, and you have invoices. So invoice is not paid. That's a global filter. And then the asterisk, and that should give you what you need. Now, so what I'm going to do is sort by customer and see if I have some credits. See, I've got a credit here that I really can't deal with. I have a credit here, but the credit is smaller. Let me scroll over than the other invoices. So I'm going to apply that credit so that I can net it out. And then let's look. There's one more credit, new news. I have nothing I can do with that. So the only two transactions that are not going to go through today are this credit and this credit. The rest of these we'll send through. So how do we do this? Well, there's a couple of ways. First of all, we need to make the PDF. So if I flag all these, and the way to flag them all is by clicking inside of here. I got to get that credit off because I don't want that to be part of our export, and then I got to get that other credit off right here. And I'm going to create a PDF that I'm going to send to finance and accounting so they can put it with the statement. So I'll do report. I'll do print preview invoice because I'm going to export these. I'm not going to print them. So here's my invoice, and notice I have 22 pages. So it's everything I just selected, less the credits that I sent through, that I took off. So here's that credit for John's. It should be the only credit that we have. As I click through here, there's no other credits. Yeah, so we're good. I've got all the invoices. Now I want to save this to a PDF. So the way to do that is export, and PDF is good. I'm just going to put it on my desktop, and we'll call it bill through invoice for December 7, 2016. That's it. Alright, so I don't need this anymore. So I'll close this down, and I'm back to here. Now what I want to do is I want to export this information because I'm going to put this in that spreadsheet that I showed you at the first part of the video. So invoice lists and export list, comma, separated values. Again, I'll put this on the desktop, and export is fine. I'll save it. It says you already have an export out there. I'm just going to write over it. So let's see if these credits are in there. I should have one credit, that one, but not these other two. So if I go find that file that I put on my desktop, which is right here, I'll double click it to open it, and there we go. This is the CSV that I just exported out. See, it has all those credits, so it exported the whole list. So I need to get some of these credits off here. So I'll delete this one because we didn't print that one, and I'll delete this one. The rest of these I'm sending through. So now we have to format this spreadsheet so that we can put it in this bill through list. So I'm back over to the other spreadsheet off SharePoint. Go to the bottom of the list, and if you notice, the format is the process date, which would be today, customer, store, invoice, and total of the invoice. So let's add the next set of records. So back to that other spreadsheet, which is behind here, and let's format this guy so it looks like that one. Process date, customer name. In fact, let's just do it this way where we can see both spreadsheets at the same time. Alright, so the date will be the first column, then the customer, then the store number, and notice that the store number has parentheses on it, so we can move all these items over to this column with a simple data conversion. So if I go to my data tab and I hit text to columns, I'm going to make this parentheses my delimiter. So right now it's showing me what the data looks like. I want a delimiter, and my delimiter is going to be that open parentheses. Just as soon as I do that, notice how it puts all these in the next column, and I'll just hit finish because that's all I want to do. It says there's already data here, which is this, which I don't need anyway, so I'm going to override it. And then I want to get rid of this comma asterisk, this parentheses asterisk. So I'll do on this guy, go back to the home tab, replace the parentheses asterisk with nothing. So I'll hit replace all, and it made 21 replacements. And notice that I got a nice new store number. So invoices on down the way, I don't need any of these other things. So all this other stuff I just need to delete out of the spreadsheet. And the invoice number is right before the total, so I'll cut and paste this column, insert cut cells. We don't need the type, so delete that whole column, and then the date needs to be today, 12/8/2016. Whoops, I think I can just do it that way. And I'm just going to copy this down the whole way. Let's see, I can't see, it's off the page. Anyway, I want to copy that date down, Control D, so they all have the same date. Now I think I've got the format that I need: the date, customer, store, invoice number, and total. I don't need this column, but quite frankly I'm just going to copy this information and paste it into the other spreadsheet. So Control C, copying it, and I'm going to put it right there at the bottom of this spreadsheet and paste. That's all. Now looks like somebody's taken some time to format this. I'm happy to do that. I'll just put all this, put some borders around it. So format cells, it's fairly easy, border, and outside, inside. Alright, so it looks pretty. And then I don't know what the total is, quite frankly, but if I go over here to this weekly summary tab, which I have to update, I need to update it for the new date, which is 12/8, and what you'll notice is it's not there. And the only way to get it there is to do a refresh. So if I click in the pivot table and I go to analyze, and hit the refresh, it'll pull in those new columns now. So if you're familiar with how a pivot table works, now if I click this, the last thing on here should be the 8th, and I'll click that, say OK, and notice that all of the invoices that are grouped by store, even the credits, you know what, credit's not showing up as a negative value. So let's go look at that one in Aptora, the John's credit, which is this one. It should be a negative value, 181.89. So back over here, 181.89 is actually a negative number because it's credit. Now back to the summary. Let me refresh the data, and now it shows as negative. So we're going to process through $105,000 worth of bill through today. So that's a pretty good amount. So continuing on, this is done, so I can just save that, and the people in finance and accounting will be able to see it. So I'll just exit out of this and save. Saving it back to SharePoint, and then here we are. Now the only last thing that we need to do is we need to pay all of these. So one way to do it is, well, the only way to do it is to receive payments and charge it to the loan account. So I'll do one of these. I'm going to do the BEDR, these two invoices, and we will do under customers, receive payments, and I'll do the BEDR twice. So type in BEDR, it shows those two invoices. I'm going to pay them both, but the way I'm going to pay them is with a discount. And I'll put a memo here of bill through, because we're really just moving this from Dart's account to AG's account. So the discount is going to be the entire amount. And in this case, these were exactly the same amount of invoices. So I'm discounting them both. Notice the amount went to 0. The discount date is going to be next Monday, because it'll show up on next Monday's invoices. So even though we're doing it today, we can go ahead and put this in for next Monday. And as it turns out, next Monday in this instance is the next period, which is we'll collect from the stores from their statements next period. So it really needs to be reflected in the next period. I'll do the same for both of these. 1212. The discount amount is principal loans. So if you start typing PRIN, principal loans due to AG, PRIN, principal loans due to AG, this date up here also needs to be the right date. So, and I've got some kind of a format issue. Hold on. So minimize that. Come back. It's weird. Anyway, that also needs to be the 12th, and then save and close. Now, see, the BEDR went off of there, and now we can look at those bill payments to see what it looks like. So under customers, I can look at a receive payment list and notice that this 1212 netted to 0, because all we did was move it from accounts receivable to the AG statement. Now we need to do that for all of these that we sent through, not this credit and not this credit, but all the rest. So let's do John's Grocery, because that's kind of an interesting one, because I have a credit in here. So we're going to apply the credit, and then we're going to discount the rest of those. I'll do John's real quick. So customer, oh, you know what? We can just go to the receive payment list and do payment, new payment. In this case, it's John's, and the date is the 12th. Payment method is bill through. The credit that we have is 181, so I'm going to click this and say set the credit, save and close. So I've done that. Now the amount due on this is less, so I'll do 140.61, and then 10 to 27.96. And again, we're going to put the dates here of next week, the 12th, and the discount amount will be principal, loans due to AG, PRIN, and we're done. So it's a net zero, but we just moved it to the AG loan account. So if I do save and close, those will also come off of this invoice list. So John's is now gone, and you see how I can work my way down. That's one last thing. We need to send the PDF of the invoices to accounting. And also tell them that the spreadsheet has been updated. But that's kind of it.